Morning, everybody, on this gorgeous, it's really lovely bank holiday Saturday. So, nice start for us to this weekend of a little bit of a yoga practice. And this morning, the aim of the practice is really to stay connected to mindful movement, which in theory, all our yoga practices should be. But we know that you can be rocking your warrior or whatever, and it's like, I'm thinking about, oh my God, did I hang those clothes on the line or something? Hopefully, yours is a little bit more exciting than that. So, whatever stuff comes up, because that is actually like when we're meditating, that things will come up. So, we're going to start this morning with a little bit of kind of anti allergy breathing. Just it's a it's very changey weather wise at the moment. So that can bring up, all different types of allergies. And I know a few people have been very like that this week. So I thought it's a nice way to just go over pranayama that supports um, our breath work for clearing. So the first one is a cleanser. And I was taught it and I was trying to think about it. I've learned it a few times over the years. I've actually been taught it by respiratory nurses, by pulmonary physios. But we take go as a form of breathing, which really, I went off when I first read the book because he kind of dissed yogic breathing. And I was like, I know I've improved my lung capacity through yogic breathing. I know that because I have it documented from when I started. My lungs were really bad when I really, really started getting into yoga, and then the improvement of actually my lung function. So I know this stuff works. The first one is a cleanser. So anyone who's got there's actually a student I used to do one-to-ones with as well who had CF. We used to do this a lot because it really does kind of clear out the mucus in the nostrils and a little bit of just breath, because that's what we want to infuse our practice with. Prana is not just the breath in our body, but it's the energy we take in and out. So anyone who is feeling very sinusy at the moment, you'll know that feeling of sort of lethargy that comes along and a little bit of blah if your breathing isn't as good as it normally is. So the first one we're going to do, let's just sit up nice and comfortable, whatever way, whether you're on your couch, just straight spine, but a relaxed spine. And then let's drop those shoulders away from the ears so we're not causing any tension. You might want to loosen out the neck, maybe even the shoulders a little bit, maybe even the pelvis. If you slept funny and your back is talking to you, you might want to go the other way. Lovely. And just take a moment to settle comfortably in your seat. Lovely. So take a moment to settle there. So we're going to do this cleansing breath first, and it's a cleansing to clear out the sinuses. And then we're going to do Nadi Sodhana, which we know alternate nostril breathing is a beautiful balancing energy. It's also a really calming breathing practice to do. So we're going to sit in meditation just for about 2 or 3 minutes after these breathing practices. And hopefully that will get us set up that when we start moving, that we are moving in flow a little bit, okay? So if you've done this before, do it with me. If not, I'm going to show you. I'm going to take a few slow, steady breaths in and out through the nostrils. So just nice and gently watching the breath flow and really being aware of how the nostrils are this morning, of how blocked or how easy it is. And when I take my next breath out, I'm going to just pinch my nostrils and start nodding for as long as I can. And then when I have the desire to take another breath, then I do that. I wouldn't go more than 10. And then come back to your regular breath. So that's what we're going to do. You just do that noddy breath. Now, obviously, if it's making you dizzy or, don't do the movements as big, try and do smaller movements. But just to try it, because it is a really effective breathing practice. So let's do that again. So aim for 10, and anywhere you get past 2 or 3 is a bonus, okay? So inhaling through the nostrils, exhaling through both nostrils, pinching and nodding. And inhale. Take a moment to let your breath come back to normal. Long breath in, slow breath out, pinch again, off you go. Back to your regular breath. Take a moment to allow the breath to settle in between, because when we hold our breath, we're actually playing with the oxygen and carbon dioxide levels in the body, and it can agitate a little bit, but just once it settles back, which it always does, breath holding is really good for actually strengthening our lungs as well. So it's something you can really, really build up as time goes on. I know when I started doing the Wim Hof breath last year, I started off and I was lucky if I could hold it for like 15, and then it went that I was like, I ended up, I think the most I got like was a minute and a half, but that's not too bad with like somebody who's got asthma and bronchiectasis, you know. So let's go again. Long breath in, slow breath out, pinch the nostrils, nod for 10. Let your regular breath settle. We're going to do one more round. Long breath in, slow breath out, and aiming for 10, but anywhere up to that is grand. Back to regular breath. And just notice now a flow of air through both nostrils. If it was a little bit blocked before, you might connect to a bit more sense of freedom in the breath. You might even need to blow your nose to clear it out. So we're going to come to do a few rounds of alternate nostril breathing. So here's another trick. If you're very sinusy, putting a little bit of pressure on the third eye, space in between the eyebrows, can really help. And we know all the mudras. Thumb and first finger works for a lot of people. If you're blocking, you just have that. You're using your ring finger and your thumb, okay? So I'm going to block this morning because I too am sinusy at the moment. So remember, we're letting the breath flow in one nostril and taking a little pause at the third eye and letting it flow out again. So just think of watching the breath like energy clearing the head, clearing the space behind the nostrils, behind the eyes, around the head, okay? So take whatever mudra suits you for Nadi Sodhana. Thumb and first finger come together. Palm faces towards the ceiling. Lovely. Take a breath in and out through both nostrils first. Block the right nostril. Slowly breathe in through the left. Pause, block the left, breathe out through the right. In through the right. Pause, out through the left. Breathe in left. Block, breathe out right. Breathe in right. Block, breathe out left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. Keeping the body as straight as you can, continue for a few rhythms of your own breath. Now relax both hands down, close over the eyes, and come back to your breath. And if coming back to that sense of breath does not feel good for you, then you're going to really focus on the sense of the sitting bones rooting into the earth, where the body is connected to the ground. You're going to focus on that instead. And can you watch the movement of the breath through the body? Notice as it enters the nostrils, travels down the throat, into the chest, maybe all the way into the belly. And that movement as I slightly engage my tummy and watch the breath travel back up again. So knowing that thoughts will come and go, and that is okay. We just simply acknowledge that they're there in a very kind way. Let them pass on by like clouds overhead and come back to our breath. So noticing the breath or paying attention to the movement in the body as you inhale and exhale. Breathing in. I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Very gently open the eyes. We're going to do some seated movement. So you might want to just, if you've been sitting on your bottom, stretch your legs out and give your legs a little tap. A little break for a moment because that was a few minutes sitting, and then come back to wherever. So we're going to start off just very gently moving with our breath. So if you can do it to a count of 5, that's great. If not, you start building it up. You start at 2, 3, wherever you are, and just build it up. So we're going to inhale, let our arms float up, palms facing towards the ceiling, to the count of 5. And then breathing out, palms facing towards the floor. Start to really stretch into the fingers and into the palms. Ground those sitting bones down into the earth. Keep the spine as straight as you can. So even though we're seated, there's a certain amount of energy flowing through the body. And notice that movement. As I inhale, I can really expand into the fullness of my lungs. And as I exhale, can I have that sense of the body grounding down into the earth a little bit more? Remember, if you've anything going on with shoulders, you might want a little bend in the arms, and you may not want to go up so high. Lovely. Now let's take it into Tree of Life. So inhale, opening up the arms till maybe they reach over the hands. And exhale, taking praying hands all the way down through the body. Lovely. Inhale, opening to prayer. Gently moving with your breath. One last time. And just to loosen up the spine a bit, we're going to do the spinal sequence. So again, get nice and heavy in the sitting bones and in the base. And feel that idea that the pelvis is upright, but it's really grounded, and it's almost like the trunk is growing out of the pelvis. Inhale, let your arms float up. Exhale, hinge forward from the top of the thighs with a straight spine, leading with your chest. And then bring your hands wherever they are happy to go on the floor. Settle into it. And if you want, when you're in there, can you slightly engage the tummy muscles? Maybe you can go a bit further. Maybe you can't. Remember, there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. We just want to be here in our forward bend and feel how it is. Also remembering, if you are practicing yoga therapy, if there's something going on with your body, you need to pare it back to 30 to 50% of what you can actually do. Even if your body wants to go further, sometimes that's ego, not really our ability so much. Walk the hands back in again. Sit up nice and straight. Relax the shoulders. Bring the hands behind you. And bring the hands behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and you'll feel that lovely openness in the chest already. And as I press into the sitting bones, can I engage the front body and lift the heart center? Notice your breath again here. And in some bodies, it might be okay and safe for you to let your head gently fall back and open up the front of the throat. But that might not suit. So remember, I go to where I'm really happy to go this morning. And come all the way back up to center again. Taking the right hand alongside the body. We're going to bring the left hand behind the head for starters. Really ground into those sitting bones. Take the whole body over to the right. Press into that left sitting bone. So already I should be feeling a stretch from the elbow to that left sitting bone. Now take your head back slightly, and then maybe can you straighten that arm? It's a little bit stronger. So if not, keep a bend in the arm or keep the arm behind the head. Lovely. Keep that core slightly engaged. And try not to let the head hang out of alignment. Can you let that left ear be in line with that left upper arm? Now fill into that left lung. And relax the hand all the way back to center, sitting up nice and straight again. So always coming back to this central axis of the spine, head, neck, and spine in a nice straight line. Bring that left hand alongside the body. Bring the right hand behind the head. Ground into those sitting bones. Just reach over to the left a little bit. And again, if you come over it, it's like I've got a lot more freedom on this side. You can walk the hand out a little bit more maybe. But remember, we're waking up the body. So feel that openness from that right elbow now to the right sitting bone, and then see, can I straighten that arm? And take the head back slightly. Check that you're not dropping that head out of alignment. Lovely. Keep breathing in and out. Feel that gorgeous stretch into the side body, opening up the right lung now. And then relax. Come back to center. Lovely. Drop those shoulders. And this time I'm going to swing the hips to the right. Just go as far as your hips are happy to go. Bring the right hand behind you, left hand either onto your knee or onto your thigh. Soften those shoulders away from the ears. Take a moment to settle in. Watch your breath. This might be enough for you, or if you'd like to take it a little bit deeper, press into the sitting bones, ground into the lower body. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, maybe turn the ribs towards the right. Maybe even look over the right shoulder a little bit more. Just make sure you're going around nice and gently, watching your body, not pushing into anything, not forcing. Just allowing the body to wake up at its own pace. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, slowly, slowly back to center. Drop the shoulders. Cool. Swing the hips to the left now. Bring that left hand behind you, right hand onto the left thigh. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Soften your breath. And again, either decide to stay here, or if you want to take it deeper, lengthen the spine, turn the ribs towards the left a little bit more. Look over that left shoulder maybe, or maybe not. Notice where your breath is filling into now. Inhale, lengthen once more. Exhale, slowly, slowly coming back to center. Okay, so we're going to start with coming up to standing actually. So if you want to come up, we're going to start off with Tadasana, mountain pose. Okay, so coming to standing on 2 feet, and feet are in and around hip distance apart. I don't know, sometimes I kind of feels better for me, the legs wider. This really never ever has worked for me in yoga with the feet together. It just feels really claustrophobic. So bend your knees a little bit, press into the feet. And let's put our hands on our knees and do just a little circle. Now with the hands on the knees, it's like I'm minding my knees. You might even notice a little creaking going on there. And remember, creaking and clicking is okay in yoga if it's not painful. If it's painful, you need to go and get it checked out. Go the other way. Lovely. Go up to standing. Let's just do a little bit of Paramuktasana, a little bit of joint loosening. Take the weight into the left foot. You put the hands on the hips. Bend that knee. Sorry, the right knee. Use the wall if you need to. Circle out that right foot one way. And then do it the other way. Now you're really grounding into that standing foot. Point and flex. Lovely. Let's take that leg down. Ground into that right foot. Bring the left knee in. Waking up the legs as well here is the ankle joint. Focus on a drishti if you need to, or use the wall. Point and flex. Lovely. Come back to standing. So we're going to do a little bit of sun kiss, which is very similar really, except we don't do the side bend. But remember, if going forward doesn't suit your body, or if your back or something is tight, full forward bend does not suit everybody, okay? Especially if your back is tight, you really have to have the sense that you're hinging from here, and that it's the legs. So when I come forward, I'm coming forward with a straight spine as far as here, right? And then I can relax and bend my spine. But especially if your back is playing up, I used to do this years ago in my class, and then I realized that anybody who's any form of osteoporosis is a terrible pose for, because it's full, too much flexion in the spine. That one folding down is actually way too much for anyone with osteoporosis, because it's too much pressure. It just makes sense, doesn't it, as well? Too much pressure on your joints coming down. That's why sometimes full cat can be too much. So if you come down to here, right, with a straight spine, then you can kind of go, then it's okay, because gravity is actually taking over, all right? If you're sort of going, I've got my chin, if you're going, that's way too much, then what you're going to do is I'm going to demonstrate with the chair. You come as far as the chair, okay? So you don't have to go the whole way down. You might even come to the chair and find I'm able to get a little bit further, because there's a sense of trust there that I don't have to. So use your blocks, use your chair. Let's come back to mountain pose, Tadasana, grounding into 2 feet. Legs are strong, hips stacked over knees over ankles. Head, neck, and spine in a nice straight line. Take the hands into prayer pose. Connect with your breath. Start off with tree of light first. Inhale, opening up. And exhale, prayer hands. This time, open up. Maybe I can take a little back bend. Ground into the feet. Engage the core. Use the glutes. Open up the heart center. So we're feeling into this first before we flow it. So we've all different kind of a range of movements in our back. Go to where it feels. Remember, all I want to do is open up my heart center here. Open up that energy into my lungs and my chest and my heart. Now, exhaling, coming back, I'm going to bend my knees, hinge forward, and you're either going to come onto the floor or you're coming to your chair. I'm going to step back a little bit here. And then my half forward bend, your hands are either on your calves or you're pulling. You can straighten your legs if that works for you, pressing into the hands. You've got to really engage the core here to support the back. And then exhale, sliding the whole way back down, full forward bend to wherever you're at. Then press into the feet. Use the power of the legs to bring you all the way up. Push off your chair if you need to. Come back up, take a little back bend, and breathe out to prayer. Lovely. Let's come back. So when you do the first of any sequence in yoga, especially when we're connecting to a moving meditation, you're feeling into it. So it's like, actually, I don't want to go that far this morning, or I need the wall or something. So once you feel into it, realize where the body is at this morning, then it's like, okay, now I can safely flow. So I let the breath almost dictate the movement. And that's what, when we're flowing in a moving meditation, we're fully connected to our breath. It's like the movement is kind of secondary. So hands over the heart center again. Long breath in. Slow breath out. Start with Tree of Life. Inhaling, opening. Exhale to prayer. Gentle back bend. Swan's eye, forward bend. Inhale to half forward bend. The legs can be bent or straight here. Exhale, fold the full way down, full forward bend. Inhaling up. Exhale to prayer. Take 3 breaths in between. And can I make this movement even more mindful? What do I need to do to let that happen? Tree of Life first. Back bend. Forward bend. Half forward bend. Really is your core here. Full forward bend. Press into the feet all the way up. Back bend to prayer. Lovely. Back to your breath again. We're going to do that one more time. Move with your own rhythm of breath. Come back to your breath now. Take a moment into that and just notice how that feels in your body, the flow of energy. So we're going to come into our warrior one leg. So if you're doing this on the chair, if you want to, you come sideways on the chair with the one leg in front, and then you can do all the movements. Well, that's in the way actually, so that might not, actually that would be better, sorry. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Just bring that one leg back. The back leg can go on the block or just wherever feels comfortable. You sort of have to, when you're doing some of these poses on the chair, you have to sort of wriggle around to, you know, get the feeling of comfort. So let's start with our right leg. Now, remember, we're going to move in this. We want to flow with our breath here. So I want to feel that my legs are strong and grounded and wide enough. Think train tracks, wide enough apart that I don't feel like my balance is, you know, is sort of compromised. If I am dealing with balance issues, I use the wall. I do it with one arm, and I just remember to do it with the other arm the next time, okay? So bend that right knee and straighten a few times. Let's keep the hands on the hips. Bend the right knee. Pelvis is nice and balanced here. Straighten. Notice what's happening first in the front leg. Now press that left heel into the ground. Feel energy from the left heel to the left glute. And notice what's happening there. And then hold it. Ground into both feet. Pelvis is neutral. Shoulders are relaxed. Let's flow with our arms. And again, if your arms don't go up to here, you just go to where it feels okay. So let the breath dictate the rhythm of your movement. I'll just talk you through the first one, and then we're going to do 2 on our own. I'll do the movements, but everyone's rhythm of breath is different. So inhaling, letting the arms float up. Let the legs be really strong, upper body light and lifted. You might want to take a little back bend here. You don't have to. And exhale, come out to shoulder height. So wrists are in line with shoulders in front of us. And then inhale, I open up. Fill into the lungs, maybe even reach into the fingers. And exhale, relax the arms, straighten that right leg. So 2 more times. Remember, if you need a little bend in your elbows, if your arms aren't getting up as high, that is fine. Just go to be where your body is this morning. So can you slow it down even more? Come back to Tadasana Mountain Pose. Take a moment here. Feet connected to the earth. Spine straight. Pelvis lovely and neutral. And the head is reaching towards the skies. Arms are just resting alongside the body. Thinking of the qualities of a mountain. Grounded, solid, secure. Let's step forward with our left leg now. And remember, you want to start to really feel what's going on in the body and start to explore yourself. Okay, you know, maybe that lower back's twinging a little bit. Maybe I need to stand this foot in to really feel and notice what's happening inside your own body. No matter what I'm saying to you, always modify to suit how you're feeling. So bend and straighten, sorry, hands on the hips a few times. Bend and straighten that left leg now. And knowing that, you know what, would be totally different. The spine stays straight in this sequence. So even though it's tempting to lean over, we're not going to. We're going to keep up nice and straight. Now bend that right knee, press that right foot into the earth. The right foot is going straight. Feel that energy in the front leg. And then ground into that right heel. Feel that right leg really start to engage. Hip bones are facing forward, pelvis isn't tucked forward or back, it's nice and neutral. That means there's a slight engagement in the lower belly. Relax the shoulders. So think of that sense of grounded, solid like a mountain on the lower legs, and that the upper body is just fluid and flowing. Again, I'll just talk you through the first one. Inhale, the arms float up. Press down into those legs, core engages as they gently arch back or go up straight. And then exhale, let my arms float to shoulder height, inviting a sense of softness into my shoulders. Inhale, opening out, feeling into the lungs. And exhale, straightening that right leg, relaxing the arms. Lovely. Let's go again. Flow with your breath now. Lovely. Come back to mountain pose. Give your legs a little shake out this time. And then maybe even bend the knees and a little swing from side to side. Okay, so this time we're going a little bit stronger. So that's why I was saying to have a little bit of wall space, or you have a chair handy, or a couch or a bed if you want. You know, if you've got a lot of strong core, or if you've got a strong core and a strong back, this won't be as challenging for you. So you might need some support, but just to realize I will be demonstrating it. I use the wall, okay? So what we're going to do is do a little bit of what we were doing the sun kiss, but we're going to take a little bit of an extra movement into it. So we're going to take a lunge. So I'm going to do a very speeded up version of this. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now, stepping back, okay, but I'm way too far away from the wall. So I'm going to up the mat, and then pressing in to here. So I'm getting this really, it actually feels lovely doing it against the wall anyhow, because you get a little bit of weight bearing into the hands. Or not, maybe I can just stay away from the wall. And what I have to do is work that right hip back and left hip forward, engage my core, lovely. And then we're going to see, maybe can I slide down a little bit and straighten that right leg. And that might not work for everyone. Then we're going to come back up, and stand in again. Okay? So I'll demo it on the chair this time. So let's step forward. Come to Tadasana first. And make sure if you're using a support, you've got handsy enough with you that you can kind of come like that. There you go, okay? So hands over the heart center. Long breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Half forward bend, core strongly engaged. Full forward bend, sliding down, hinging at the top of the thighs once more. And this time, I'm going to step back with my left leg. So I'm in a bit of a lunge, okay? So you're either pressing into a chair, hands onto the wall, or you can keep your arms in line with your ears. Now you to really engage your core strength here. Pulling in the belly, feeling the spinal muscles work. Keep the arms in line with your ears. Don't let them come down or up. And breathe. Now, can you bring your hands down either alongside that leg? Straighten that right leg. Bring that right hip back, left hip forward. So we're in like a kind of wider legged version of intense leg stretch. And then bend the knee. Press up into warrior one. We were already there. Lovely. And then step forward. And back to mountain pose. Let your breath settle. Lovely. Maybe you can place the hands on the belly. Come back to your slow, steady belly breath. And let's do that again. Inhale, hands to prayer. Exhale, slow breath out. Inhale to back bend. Swan dive forward bend. Half forward bend. Full forward bend. This time you're bringing your other leg back, left leg back. Now notice where your hands are. Pull in the tummy and come into your leaning warrior. Here you really have to engage the core, work that left hip back and right hip forward. Keep the arms up in line with the ears and breathe. Now let the hands relax alongside that left leg, and maybe I can straighten that left leg. Bring that left hip back, right hip forward, pull in the belly and bow down over that left leg. Remember, micro bends are brilliant in yoga to soften the pose. And then I'm going to bend that left knee, press equally into both feet. Take it up to warrior one. Soften the shoulders. And then step forward. So it's a little bit of a challenging one, but it can be kind of eased a little bit by using supports, okay? So we're going to do that one more time. So hands over the heart center. Connect with your breath. Lovely. Inhale up. Swan dive forward. Half forward bend. And this is here. If this is strong, then you're probably okay to do the arms. If it feels really challenging, then I would use the wall or a chair. Full forward bend again. Remember, keep it bend in the knees if you want to. Step back with your right leg. Lovely. Now, you're either keeping the arms alongside, core super strong engaged, keep core engaged either way. Work that right hip back, left hip forward. Now, can I straighten that right leg? And that might be too much, my hamstrings, and fold even further over that right leg. Take a breath or two here. And then bend the right leg. Now press into the feet and work your way up to your warrior one. Super strong legs, light and lifted upper body. And then step forward. Take 2 or 3 breaths in between. Let's go again. Inhale. All the way forward. Forward bend, full forward bend. Half forward bend. Full forward bend. Take the left leg back this time. Right leg forward. And again, you're either here on your chair or your arms are alongside the body, whatever you're feeling. Work now that right hip back, left hip forward. And then can you straighten maybe that left leg, pull in the belly, right down, intense leg stretch. Keep that breath flowing. It's all about the breath when we're doing mindful movement. Bend that left knee again. Really press the feet into the earth to bring you all the way back up again. Warrior one. And then step forward. Lovely. Come back to mountain pose. Just do a little circle that in the hips because you might be feeling it there. The other way. Okay, so you're going to come back to the mat for the moving meditation. Now I'm going to demo this on I'll demo with both. So I'm going to do really speedy first on the floor because we do it a lot on the floor. So it's hair pose, raised arm. Sorry, hang on a second. I'm doing it wrong here. Start off. I'm up on my knees, gentle back bend, which we've just been doing, then into hare, then tabletop, then downward dog, tabletop, hare, and all the way up to prayer. Okay, so we're obviously not doing it that fast. You would definitely get dizzy. So get settled into hare pose. We're going to start off seated on the chair, sitting upright. Don't be too close to the back of the chair because then we're too relaxed. Feel the sitting bones grounded into the earth. If you know bum on the heels is too much for you, pop a cushion in between. You might even need something underneath your knees and your feet. Remember, comfort is queen. Relax the shoulders. So Vajrasana is a great pose for the knees and a great stretch at the front of the feet. It's very challenging for a lot of bodies. Come back to your breath. Spine is nice and light and lifted. Inhaling, reaching up. Gentle back arch. Engage that front body. Exhale, hinge forward into hair. We're going to slide down, bring your hands onto your legs. Now bring the hands for us on the chair. We're going to just come back a little bit, not too much. You're coming back to tabletop. And then coming back to downward dog. Engage the core, reach the arms up, make the shape of downward dog on the chair. Lovely. Come back a little bit to your tabletop, hands and knees. Press into the feet, reach the whole way up. And exhale to prayer. So what happens in that sequence is really, to me, always such a great teacher about my practice, about how in it I am or how easily distracted, because it's a moving meditation. I remember noticing when, my teacher was brilliant, but that I was teaching inside my head. So I was on to the next pose, when I was in, so I'm in raised arm mountain, my mind is already in hare pose. And that's what we do in life, isn't it? We're always rushing ahead. So can I stay with that breath for that single moment and then go into the next pose on that out breath and stay fully in that out breath till I release, go to the very end of the out breath, go to the very end of the in breath and make it totally breath centered, okay? So flow it as much as you can. Hands over the heart center. We're going to take 3 breaths in and out in between. Slow, steady, breathing in. If sitting back on your heels is a lot, you can come up onto the knees. Use a support if you need one. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale into hare pose. Hinge forward at the top of the thighs. Bring your hands down. Inhale to tabletop. We're coming up, hands on the thighs, pull in the belly. Exhale, downward dog. Press into the feet. Still use the legs. If you're on the chair, come up into the shape of dog. Exhale, back into tabletop. Just rest your chest on the thighs. Inhale all the way back up. And exhale to prayer. 3 breaths in between. Reaching up. Hare pose. Tabletop. Downward facing dog. Core engaged. Tabletop. Reaching up. Maybe back arch. And prayer. 3 breaths in between. Now this time I'll do the sequence, but I'm not going to talk you through it. So really connect to your own body, mind, breath here. to purpose. Lovely. Come back to your breath. Sit on your bum for a moment. So the knees can only do so long. So come back to sitting on your bottom. Feel that connection between the sitting bones and the earth. Good. And notice the energy after that sequence. It's quite a calming practice. It's if you find, and I know a lot of people, so coming to sitting down, because we're going to go and we're going to lie down afterwards. If you find that you can't sleep at night, that is a really nice sequence to use. I wouldn't come up onto my knees. I would keep it down as, you know, keep with the breath, the flow, the soothing sort of movements, that rhythm is really calming. But coming up on the knees, opening up is a little bit too energetic. So even staying on your knees, you can open up, but remember, just soften everything. So relax the arms here. We're just going to do a little bit of neck loosening. So we've kind of got the up and down done a lot with our breath. I'm going to take my left arm, wrap it around the head. So get a nice little stretch here as well. And then start off with that right hand on the right shoulder, because that kind of wants to come with us, and we don't want to. We just want to create a nice sense of openness here on the right side of the neck. Now let the head just relax into that left arm. There's no pushing, no forcing. And just hold it there for a moment. Now I'm going to reach into that right hand and like press that hand away, and you create a little bit more of a stretch. Breathing in and breathing out. And then soften that right arm, relax the left hand, come back to center. Lovely. Now take the the right arm all around the head. Left hand goes on the left shoulder. Let the head just fall to the side into the right arm. Settle here first. And then reaching into that left hand. Like really pressing, as if you're pressing something away with that left hand. Breathing in. Breathing out. Relax all the way back to center. Lovely. So we're just going to do a little bit of kind of half neck rolls, just from one side to the other. So dropping your chin towards your chest, slowly moving the chin over to the right shoulder. And then bring it back down, chin to chest. Gently looking over to the left. No force, no effort, just head hanging, tension going. Over to the right. And over to the right. One more time. And then back to center. So the last one that we're doing, which is another little pranayama, it's a little bit of a cleanser as well, is the figure of 8. So we're imagining the infinity sign on its, so that's the infinity sign there. So that shape. And then what you're going to do is, it's like I'm drawing the infinity sign with the tip of my nostrils. Now, I'm obviously not flinging my head around. I kind of work within how my neck is feeling this morning. So it could be a teeny tiny movement for you, or it might be bigger. I would start small and then see if we want to get bigger. So again, lower body is grounded and solid. The spine is nice and light and lifted. The shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. Come back to your breath. You might want to close your eyes. Visualize your infinity sign in front of you. And then with the tip of the nose, like you're tracing that infinity sign, that figure of 8 on its side. Let your breath do what it wants to, sometimes kind of sinking from one side to another feels good, sometimes it doesn't. Just keep breathing in and out through the nostrils. You might want to feel like I'm going to let my breath go a little bit bigger. You might not. And you may notice the kind of snap, crackle, pop a little bit if you're very sinusy. And that is actually just fluid moving that you can actually feel. Keep going with your breath. Loosening out. Letting the fluid fill. Releasing any blockages around the sinus cavity, hopefully. And then come back to center. Let everything settle. Lie down on your back now. Have your blanket to hand, whatever you need for relaxation. We'll just finish off with a little bit of Attanasana. So if you want to hug your knees in over your tummy, and again, just let them come to where it feels okay. Really feel the back body, feel the back of the head, the back of the shoulders, feel the back, the lower back. Start circling out nice and slowly. That sense of lubricating now the lower back, loosening out any tension and tightness here. Back to center. Let's go the other way. Back to center. Hug the knees in. Inhale, straighten the arms. Do that a few times. And then stand the feet on the mat. You can bring your arms into a T shape if you want to. That's not necessary though. Drop the shoulders, let the arms be heavy. Let the knees fall towards the floor to the right. Maybe your head's happy to look to the left. Come back to center with your breath, letting the lower back relax onto the mat. Let the knees fall towards the floor to the left as the head looks to the right. Now again, come back to your breath. Letting the movement happen with the breath. Can you connect to your own rhythm of breath here? Loosening out any tension, relaxing, starting to release. And let this be the last one. And then as you come back to center now, settle yourself for Shavasana. Relax the arms in a few inches away from the body, palms facing towards the ceiling, shoulders nice and relaxed. Feel the head heavy. The feet might be on the mat sometimes if you have, or a couch to hand. which I normally do. This can feel pretty delicious. It's like a Viparisha Krani. So that can feel really nice as well. But let's make sure that our back is heavy and supported. When I take my palms to face towards the ceiling, I've noticed that rolling open of the shoulders and that freedom in the chest. Can I create a little bit more sense of openness in the space in between my shoulder blades? Get heavy in the body. Feel your body heavy and relaxed. Come back to your breath for relaxation. Lying down, relaxing the head. The head is heavy on the mat. Feel the back body. Surrender to gravity. The back of the shoulders, the upper back. The space between the shoulder blades. The shoulder blades. The middle back. The lower back. The glutes. The hamstrings. The heels resting on the floor. Feel the back body. Surrender to gravity. Let go of any tension or tightness in the back body. Can I invite even more relaxation into the back body? Inviting a sense of softness and ease into the front of the body, from my toes through the front of the feet. Through the ankles, through the lower legs. Feel the front of your legs soft and relaxed. Relaxing the front of the hips, the lower belly. Relax the solar plexus, that energy center. Soften any tension and tightness around here. Relaxing the diaphragm, the chest, the lungs, the heart center. Relax the upper chest, the front of the throat. Relax the jaw, even give a little wiggle from side to side. Relax the mouth. See, can I keep my mouth so relaxed that the back teeth aren't meeting? So there's no tension in my jaw. Maybe even I want to rest my tongue behind my front teeth. That feels on the soft palate, if that feels comfortable. Relax the cheeks, the cheekbones, the eyes, temples, forehead, space between the eyebrows, even the hairline. Feel the whole body heavy and relaxed. Even in this position, Shavasana. Let the mind go now. Let the body become heavy. Take a moment to surrender to gravity and be in this place of relaxation. So once again, coming back to this body, taking a little bit of movement into the body, wriggling the fingers, the toes, slowly moving the head from side to side. Take a stretch, take a yawn. Take a moment to notice how you feel after your practice. How is the body? Notice the pace and rhythm of your breath. Become aware of your headspace. And know that we always take the benefits of this amazing practice with us off the mat and into our worlds. So nice and slowly coming up to sitting, wishing Om Shanti to anyone on the recording.